Hey guys, so I wanted to redo a video that I did 1 year ago on how I fly with the F-14, and I should be bringing more of these type of videos because always people ask me tips and stuff on how to fly certain vehicles, right? So of course the F-14 is one of the most played aircraft and one of my favorite aircraft of the game, yes, even though I love my beloved MiGs. The F-14 is one of the most fun aircraft that you can fly in the game. And why is that? Because it can do BVR, right? So, yeah, let's get going. So, first of all, we are flying with the B. But the strategy will be the same for the 3 matches that I will show to you guys. Phoenixes are your main weapon. Yes, I believe that if it's a very short game, maybe not, but every match you need to try to use your Mavericks. How I use them is, of course, choosing very carefully the target, and the objective here is to remain, because if you just lose your soft lock with TWS, you will miss the missile, most likely, okay? So you need to maintain the soft lock on the targets that you are locking, that you are shooting, until the missiles go active. This is your main objective here, okay? Since you have so much range in the Phoenixes, you can do that very well without anybody trying to kill you from very far away and actually being able to, unless they are using a Fakur, that we're gonna talk about it later in the video. But yeah, fly high, a little bit of fuel extra. Normally I use 40 to 45 minutes internally and external fuel tanks. You need fuel with any F-14. You climb, you find properly good targets that are not right at the front, you know, targets that are mixed in the middle of the craziness of the respawn of the enemy, basically, right? And of course you just fire onto them. And of course then you have to fire and look for targets to shoot at with your aim 7. This is what the F-14 is made to do. This is what the F-14 does very well. BVR, man. Of course it can do very well dogfights and stuff as well, but it is a big aircraft. It's very easy to kill sometimes, and you gotta use your radar. You have one of the most powerful radars at these BRs, so use it with one of the most powerful missiles you have in these BRs. So use them alright. But be careful, especially in the B, you are kinda a little bit more safer because you have a really good RWR compared to the A's. But you gotta be careful, like you saw the MiG-29 down there, you know, shooting at me. You gotta be careful and spam your flares in chaff. I normally take, on the F-14, one of the only aircraft that I do this, I take more flares than chaff just because you have basically 2 nuclear reactors on your back producing so much heat that even an R60 doesn't go for flares when it's fired on a cold aspect onto you, right? So it's difficult sometimes. But yeah, guys, now, of course, we already fired most of our main missiles, and now we can try to brawl a little bit in the middle of the map. Normally I try to do this, trying to pick up, obviously, targets of opportunity that I can fire with the BVR missiles. Obviously, be careful to not waste them, and don't try to do dogfights with aircraft that you are not sure that you can win. That's kind of the idea here. Can it beat basically anything in a dogfight? Yeah, it can, but you know how it is. You gotta be careful, because this is a heavy aircraft that takes its time to lose its speed and stuff. So it's easy to overshoot with this thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Fired aim 9 there, but here it's just, you know, trying to bait a little bit. I noticed that my friendly forces are coming to kill this target. I have way more engine than this target, so I just need to go up, and it's not maybe the most smartest thing ever, but I knew my teammates were coming. So that was it for the first game. So initially, of course, BVR situation. Later we can do other things. So here we have the Iranian F-14, which is even better at this. So same things happen, you know. I take full fuel load, climb, and try to fire at 4 targets that are pretty alright flying, you know, in the middle of the map there. So I fire 4 of the missiles and I keep them locked. This might be harder if you try to fire on targets that are in different fly levels, basically, right? So you gotta try to pick 4 targets that are flying in the same altitude to each other. One thing that you have to be careful, why did I just not keep the soft lock there? Because I was really scared of these RWR. I don't know if you noticed, but all the F-14As, both the F-14As, they are really, really bad in the RWR department. They don't give you a lock warning or a launch warning. You just gotta be careful. But see, the Fakur, way easier to get a lot of kills. These missiles are amazing to do that. Even the Sigil as well. So it was basically, I think, 4 kills. I have to check. Yeah, 4 kills with the 4 Fakurs. So if you have the Iranian F-14, it is the best F-14 right now in the terms of competitivity. You know, you can just be so competitive that not even the F-14B is that good, even having just a 12.7 BR, you know. So yeah, and again, this is what the F-14 is good at, BVR. If you don't like BVR, you gotta be a little bit more careful with the F-14 because it is kind of made to do this. So just be careful. Again, fire the Phoenixes, the Fakurs, targets of opportunity, and trying to find a target that it is just flying around, that it's going to be easy to kill, especially with the Sigil. I lost the lock there and the Sigil just went kaput, so just went to another something. I don't know what it was going after. I find another target that is not really paying attention to me over here. I noticed that he's attacking other targets there. But yeah, he goes for the other F4 because that's how raiders work sometimes in this game. But yeah, eventually I got him. And of course now I just gotta be careful, not try to get into some dogfight that I cannot win. But of course F4S, an F4 or something like that, it's pretty alright. I don't know how I missed that. And eventually I just kind of crash, but we win shortly afterwards, so it was okay. And then we have the F-14A that you're gonna use in the same manner over here, but just remember, it has the same BR as the F-14 from Iran, but the Phoenixes are worse than the Fakurs by a lot, right? The energy especially. But again, I'm trying to find a level that I can find 4 targets that are going to be basically in the same altitude so that I can fire onto them. And I did a mistake. I fired on the target that it's climbing and a target that it's going lower. So what I gotta do here, and this is I think the main thing about these aircraft, these early stages of the matches is when you decide if you're gonna have an ace or not. You're gonna just keep decreasing and increasing the radar angle there to make sure that all the circles there of the enemy, see, they're all updated with the target on the middle at least a little bit. So you keep doing that, rotating, going upwards, going downwards with the radar until all the missiles go active. This is the major thing that you have to understand. Be careful with your WR, fly high. Of course, can you fly low? Yes, but I wouldn't advise you guys to use the Phoenix then. If you like to fly low with this aircraft, I wouldn't advise. But if you like to, take more Sparrows, maybe more AIM-9s. There's the good old cap loadout that the US Navy used, which was 2 AIM-9Hs and 4 AIM-9Hs and 4 AIM-7s. You can use that instead of the Phoenix. And that would be a better option for you if you like to fly low. But again, this is the type of aircraft that loves to fly high. It's the type of aircraft that really endures the toughness of having to kill targets from 40 kilometers away. So here I just make sure that I unlock the target just before the hit happens to make sure that maybe with just the energy there, the missile doesn't go to the ground. It eventually did, and it was kind of a small hit. I think it was slightly damaged, but yeah, it just exploded me there because I think I hit a bomb or something on his loadout. And here is what happens when you are not careful, and of course when you don't have the team to support you. So it's an amazing aircraft, it's pretty good, but you do face some very, very tough 4th generations, and the radar is problematic sometimes, so you gotta be careful. It's a high PRF radar most of the time, so it's very easy to lose lock, so you gotta be careful with that, okay? And of course, always remember, although an amazing aircraft, it's not an OP aircraft. It cannot beat 5 aircraft at the same time, so if you don't have the team, you're probably gonna die, because you see some very, very powerful aircraft, such as the Yak-141, for example, or some MiGs, or other F-14s and stuff. So Mirages 2000 sometimes. So you just gotta be careful, okay? But yeah, guys, this is how I fly with the F-14, flying high, using the BVR, and only going in dogfights at the end of the match when I know I can win them. Of course, here I didn't have much of a choice. I had to go to a dogfight, and my team was already dead, so it was GG. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments how you fly in the TOMCAT. See ya, guys.